At the end of every week, I want to show you some examples of feedback that I gave some of the students in this program. I think it will be helpful for you because usually the same mistakes or questions or problems are coming back again and again when people are facing these challenges. So here they are, some examples. I hope you will find them useful. Hey Ethan, what's up? Okay, so taking a look at your suggested ideas and research, I also think that the most interesting one here is the vegan businesses at early stage. Now, you said personally, I don't think they will have big budget at early stage, and you don't know if they're buying. So I did a very simple research, which is basically to write like best vegan restaurants UK or London or something, and just quickly, click the first one, which is 25 best vegan restaurants in London, to start opening up their websites to see what their websites and branding look like. And this kind of gives me a little bit of sense whether they're actually investing in websites and in branding. And looking at this, I think that they are. And also, I think that today, specifically, I just came back from London, so I know how kind of like design specifically plays a part in the restaurant industry, and I think in the vegan, which is kind of like people who are more who are more conscious about things in general, and I think they're also conscious about design. I do think that they are investing in this, and you can even see it from just the first few ones that I've opened up. They might not have huge budgets such as tech companies, so maybe not $30,000, but I do think that you can see here that they have invested in custom photography, in branding, in a custom website that is not based on a template. So I would think this is actually the most interesting one. And I do think that, first of all, you're passionate about it, you're vegan yourself, it does give you an edge. You started to connect with people on LinkedIn, you have portfolio examples, and you are based in the UK, which gives you another edge, which is you're close to them. You can go there in person, you can help art direct, the photography, and work with them in the restaurant itself, which I think is a huge advantage, because unlike other places where you can completely work remote in the food industry, you want to work with someone local to you. So if I have to pick one here, I would definitely go with this one. And again, maybe they don't have as much money as other ones, but I do think this is totally feasible for a six-figure business, and growing, and you can start going from there. So I would definitely go from there. Drinks, I also spirits, I think it's important, but I don't think this is big enough in terms of different clients and new businesses that are getting started in this industry. I think it's more limited than the number of new restaurants maybe, or food businesses that are being started. So this would be my feedback. I hope that's helpful. Hey Joanne, thank you for submitting. Okay, so it's very clear to see that you are very excited about working with the creative space. However, I do think that creative industry is a little bit big. It's too big. Artists, venues, event organizers, each one of these categories have completely different problems. They congregate at different places, so trying to sell to all of them together is just too confusing, and it won't be effective. So I would find the niche is actually within it. The industry is too big. The niche is somewhere between. Is it the artist? Is it the promoters? Is it the studios? Is it the venues? I would choose one of them, and I would focus. And I would find one that is big enough. So I have to say one thing, if we're current with the news and all the craziness of the coronavirus, which it's going to be here for a while, at least maybe a year before everybody is going to totally relax. So I think everything from festivals to, I don't know if public exhibitions, but everything that includes a lot of people is going to get hurt in the next year probably. People are canceling, events are being canceled. I wouldn't start getting into this niche in this specific year, because this is going to be a tough year for that industry. So I would think about something else. I would do a little bit more work here in terms of what is studios, what is musicians. As we said, the little ones don't have a lot of money, so you want to make sure that you're working with people that already have money. Is it studios? You're already working with a radio station. So maybe radio is actually the industry, because maybe radio, there are enough radio stations that are funded that you can help solve their problems. So maybe that's actually the niche within it. Now remember what I said on the call. This is not limiting you for life. This is just to get you started. You can then maybe broaden at a later stage. You can move to something else in the area. Get started in the creative industry in one specific niche that you can work with right now. You'll be able to expand in the future. So I would dive deep a little bit more into research, either radio or something more specific. Again, TV have very different problems than magazine, than film studios. I would pick one and do the research on one. Hope that's helpful. Talk soon. Hey Nikas, thank you for submitting. So here's my feedback on your idea for the B2B industrial companies for metal processing and manufacturing. But I did click on some of the links that you've had here, and I have to say that looking at this looks like a very old website. And it doesn't show that they're really investing right now. So either this is an opportunity because they are about to build a new website, or this means that, for example, for them, a website or a branding or a design is not a big priority. So I would think about that. Again, it seems like you already have clients in that niche, so you know them better, but those would be kind of like a red flag to think about, and make sure that you're going into a niche that really is interested in buying at the moment. Hey Josh, what is up? So taking a look at what you wrote here, where you chose residential architecture, interior design, my feedback would be actually that I have some questions, because first of all, I see that while in other places you have connections, which is a big advantage, in the residential and architecture you don't really have an advantage. You have passion, which is good, but it's not as strong as an advantage as some connections. Now, the other things that I'm also a little bit worried about is, do they really have the money, and are they spending money on branding or web design at this point? Now, you did mention here some big firms, but I have just a little bit of knowledge in this niche, and from the websites of interior designers, either freelancers or smaller agencies, because I assume you're not going to be working with the biggest, interior designer and architecture firms in the world just getting started. The smaller ones did not necessarily invest in amazing websites and brands, so I'm not sure. I would dig into this research a little bit more to learn, is this a real viable niche where you are? Do you have a way to reach out to these people? Otherwise, it might be actually a better opportunity, I think, from a business perspective, to get started with real estate agents who you already know, and they definitely have the money to invest in a new web design or a new brand. So I would do a little bit of more research. I'm not saying that it's bad, but I would not necessarily, I'm not sure that what you said here is correct. I would invest a little bit more time just to make it sure, and then make a decision. If you really want to go with this, of course you can. I just think, would it be easier to go with something else? So do a little bit more research on the topic, and then make a decision so that you can move forward. Hope that's helpful.